And hello YouTube, welcome back. So today on this edition of Linux Mint, I'm going to talk about OpenFoam because this channel has a lot of OpenFoam videos, and of course I can't do a Linux Mint series without talking at least a little bit about OpenFoam. So when it comes to OpenFoam, again, if you're a seasoned user, you would know that there are multiple versions of OpenFoam and many branches, so to speak. But for those who are new, and making this for those who are new and you don't know how to install Linux or anything, I'll just tell you how to install the most basic. All right. So there are several versions of OpenFoam. Not just the one that you're seeing on your screen here, but this is one of the most common. There are several versions, but if you're starting to learn and you are not sure, what each version does, I just recommend you do this, the ESI version. It's a very easy install. Of course, you can do the OpenFoam 7 version by openfoam.org. I mean, you do any one, it will be okay for now. But I just want to get you started with some of these. So first thing you need to do, you go to the OpenFoam website. Okay, you will see there's a Linux version and a Windows version. Now, Linux version, often they will tell you something along the lines of installing Docker. Okay, Docker is it's a very good tool, but it's another learning curve. If you're just starting out with OpenFoam, getting to know how to use it, know how to learn it, you don't really need to do Docker, use Docker. So I'm just going to talk about the lazy way, alright? Okay, this is the easier way, in my opinion. Especially if you use Windows subsystem for Linux, just repeat the exact same steps that you would do for Windows subsystem for Linux. Now, first thing you do is to download the tar file. A tar file is basically like a WinZip file or WinRAR file, which basically means they compress everything in here. So what you need to do is just to download this file. And let's say you have already downloaded the file. All right, and I downloaded it here in this place called OpenFoam v1912 Windows 10.tgz. So this is the Windows version, which absolutely will work for Linux Mint or Ubuntu. I haven't tried it on Linux Mint Debian Edition. It works. So very simple. Okay. What you need to do is this. Okay. Basically just follow the instructions here. This one you can kind of just do away with it. Skip this step. You need to untar this file into wherever you want to install OpenFoam. Okay. Untarring means you just unzip the contents. So you're extracting the contents to this folder. So I've already installed a OpenFoam on this computer. So where you will find it, it's in my OPT file and this folder here. But just for demonstration purposes, I'm going to delete and do a fresh install. So okay, let me open in terminal, sudo rm-rf OpenFoam. So this will actually just delete my old folder. So I just do sudo to give myself administrative privileges. And there are two things you need to take note. Take a look at the bash rc file in your home directory. So you're in the home directory, just do a vi or gedit or whatever. You need a text editor basically. Okay, bash rc, and this is what you will need to do. Okay, so I'm just resetting the files. There are two things you need to take note of: where you unzip your folder or where you untar your folder, and of course the bash rc file. These are the only two things you need to take note of to set up your OpenFoam environment. Okay, so what you need to do is to extract this OpenFoam file using this sudo tar blah 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 into whatever folder you want. Now over here, it was in my opt folder, OPT folder, like it was over here. Yeah, it was over here inside my file system. Okay, and okay, so this is my file system, my root directory. normally it will be stored here. This is the default install directory. But let's say my file system is a bit cramped, there's so much space here which I want to use. I'd rather put it in a place where there's a lot of space. Okay, so let's say I want to do it in my home directory. So let's do this. Okay, let's make a new directory. I'll name it OpenFoam. Okay, OpenFoam. Very simple. Okay, let's say I want to put it in this directory now. Okay, how do I do so? So I want to unzip everything. Now, of course, you can actually extract it into your opt folder here, but I don't want to do that. Okay, so what I'll do is basically what this command is doing. Sudo means I'm using the administrative privileges. Okay, tar means okay, I am using the so-called WinZip directory. xzvf, okay, let's see, tar help. Okay, tar help. Now you can see what these flags are for. So let's see, look at this example. You see tar xf, it says extract all files from the archive from, let's say, this file called archive tar. So our file here is not called archive tar, it is this OpenFoam v1912 blah 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 .tgz. So that's the file we want to extract. So X and F actually extracts all the files. Okay, so what is V and Z? So let's take a look at what V and Z is. So V, where is V? Where is V? Alright, I gotta scroll slowly. Okay, X is extract. Okay, so let's see, V. Hold on, let me fast forward the search. Okay, yes, over here. Excuse me. Towards the end of the whole help printout, you'll see this thing called v verbals. Verbals means basically I will print out whatever output is going on. So that's what it means. And then Z is actually over here. It says compression options, and it says filter the archive through gzip. That is just I guess an extra little bit of tweaking that you use. But we'll just use the xzvf because I think it's using a kind of a zip folder. And then if you're wondering what this C over here is, alright, so sudo tar xzvf. So this is actually running extract. So I'm extracting this file. And what is this C for? This C here, if you take a look at the tar help, so you can write tar help, C actually is here. It will change the directory to whatever directory you are. So by default, if you don't use this C flag, I will extract everything into the directory that I'm in. Okay, but if I want to specify a directory to extract to, for example, over here I'm extracting into the opt directory, I will use this C flag, the -C, and I'll use opt. But I don't want to extract it there. I want to extract it to let's say the home directory and OpenFoam. So let's do that. So hopefully that helps you to understand what you're doing. Okay, what you're doing here. So let me open this terminal file. Let's see. Okay, let's open this file in terminal. So sudo tar xzvf. You don't need to put it in order as long as all these flags are there. So I will go for this file, OpenFoam tar.gz. I'll use the C flag to say, hey, I want to extract it to a specific folder. So the home file is used using this squiggly line, and I can press double tap to show me the options if I'm not sure. So next thing I want to put it in this OpenFoam folder. So what I do, I just extract it to this folder and press enter. And let's type the password because I use administrative privileges. And what you do, you look at when you use the verbals option, it will print out all the output here, so that at least you can keep track of what's actually going on. So this is the so-called lazy install. Now, of course, if you don't have the tar file, you have to actually do sudo apt install tar, sudo apt install bison flex m4. All of these should be installed, run in your command line. So I can run it in this command line. So I just copy and paste. So this is to install tar. But if you are already, using the unzipping function of that, you should not actually need to install this thing. Okay. So if you're already running the extractor, you don't really need to install this, but this is just to show you some of the steps. Okay, if you try to do that, you'll say, oh right, it's already been installed, haha. Okay, so you don't need to do anything. These are additional dependencies that you need to use to run OpenFoam. So it's like prerequisites, okay? So you do the same thing. You'll say, okay, it's already installed for this computer. But for yours, you may need to go and download and install this stuff. So it should all be there. Alright, and while this thing is extracting, I want you to go to the software manager. Okay, software manager, and start to install this thing called Paraview. Of course, you can install it from the command line, but I prefer it this way. Okay, Paraview. Alright, so it's a multiple open source blah blah blah. This is actually version 5.4.1. It is not the latest version, but it's good enough. It's an easy install, so just install it from your software manager if you're on Linux Mint. Otherwise, you will need to install from the command line using sudo apt install Paraview. So if you try to type Paraview here, they'll say Paraview not found, but can be installed with sudo apt install Paraview. It will do basically the same thing as what you're doing here. Okay, but I prefer software manager because it configures everything nicely for you, and you can just put it on the desktop. Now while Paraview is installing, so you're installing Paraview and OpenFoam. Okay, so basically we have installed OpenFoam along with all the directories. Okay, next thing is to configure the bash rc file. Remember, I was talking about two things you need to take note of when you install OpenFoam. You need to take note of the bash rc file, and you also need to take a look at this zip file. Very simple. Okay, I will get back to Paraview later. So you need Paraview to actually visualize your fluid dynamics, okay, and your velocity fields, etc., etc. So let's actually go to home, and I'll open in terminal. Okay, I need to access the bash rc file and copy this here. All right, this is not exactly the place where it is. So what is this thing actually doing over here? Well, let's unpack this whole thing over here. All right, when you press this term echo source blah 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 to bash rc, okay, let's see what you're doing. Okay, so echo ABCDE, okay, to, this is just an example, right? Go to bash rc, and let's see what bash rc says. vi.bash rc. So remember, you need to be in your excuse me. Yeah, so you need to go to your bash rc file. Okay, and you see what's in here. Go all the way to the bottom, and you see ABCDE is actually printed in your bash rc file. So this thing echo blah blah blah, this echo thing actually copies and pastes this file right at the end of your bash rc file. Okay, so this actually just prints everything to the bash rc file. Alright, and this is where this is actually being run every time you start a new terminal or whatever. So okay, next thing you need to understand is what is this thing called source. Okay, right, so source actually if let's say you have this file called .bashrc, the dot here is actually, you know, to say that, hey, this file is actually hidden. You're not supposed to see it by default, okay? But it's there. So if I type vi, you can actually see, okay, there are actually a lot of dot files which I'm not supposed to touch there, okay? But yeah, sorry. Yeah, so if you type vi or cd and then you press tab, you will actually see all the dot files that are there. These are hidden files, okay? And what you are there to do is over here, okay, when you type the source file, I'll just tell you straight, when you type the source file, it will actually run all the code inside this bashrc. So if you type source.bashrc, it will look for the file bashrc and run all the code in there. Okay, it will run every single bit of code in here, including the ABCDE if I actually put the ABCDE in there. So that actually runs the code in there. So that actually is what the source file does. Okay, so let's take a look at what this thing is trying to do. Okay, so it says I want to copy and paste this file here. Okay, so source actually runs this file. So what file actually are we running? So it says opt OpenFoam v1912 bashrc. But remember, we did not install it in the opt folder. We actually installed inside the different folder. So let's go cd OpenFoam. Okay, there's another OpenFoam file here. Sure, OpenFoam. So you see, there's this thing called OpenFoam v1912, which is over here. I need to go to my etc folder. Okay, and there's actually another bashrc file here. So look at that, bashrc. So this is actually, all that you see here is the whole script that you need to run in order to start OpenFoam, to configure OpenFoam. So you look at this file, look at this directory, copy, and let's go to cd, which goes to the home directory, and edit the bashrc file. Okay, I typoed there. Alright, so this is the file you should see. What do you need to do to run every time at startup? Okay. Alright, so to start OpenFoam, okay, let me use vim. Okay, I need to install vim, sorry. Vim is a better editor, do install it. Install vim. Do install this is very useful. It's much better to use this text editor than the regular vi. Sorry about that, I forgot to install this. Okay, so anyway, hopefully you are familiar with vi. I'm not going to repeat what I do in my tutorials because in my tutorials I actually detail how to use vi. So let's do vim bashrc. Okay, now the colors are out, so much nicer. Okay, so what we are doing here again is when we run the our bashrc file is actually being run every time we start up, and when the bashrc file, the source command is used, it will actually run every single code, every single bit of code you see here at startup, including actually when you run this file here, when you type this source blah 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 blah, it will actually run that bit of code as well in the OpenFoam directory. So that is what you're doing. So I will say, okay, every time I start up, there will be this if, there will be all these commands on top. It will run line by line. Then when it comes to this point, it will say, okay, let me run this file in OpenFoam v1912, etc. bashrc. It will look for this bashrc file and run all the. So basically what you're doing is, okay, I'm going to, every time I start up, I'm going to get this run this piece of code here. So that's what we are doing here. Alright, so let's save and quit. Actually, this echo file is actually you manually editing this bashrc file. That's the same thing. Okay, so if you want to, basically this bashrc file is only run every time you start up. But again, if you want to run all the code there, you just type source bashrc, and that will actually run all the lines of code in this bashrc. And in this bashrc, there's another source command which points to the OpenFoam bashrc. Once you run that OpenFoam bashrc file, you can start running. So if you type something like block mesh, it will start giving you a command. It will say OpenFoam blah 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 blah. Some files are missing. Obviously, you can't run it because this is not a proper OpenFoam directory. So what you can do to test this thing out, go to Foam Tutorials. Go to, let's say, incompressible, and your most basic file, almost like a hello world, go to cavity. Okay, and then you just type all run there. Okay, it says permission denied. Okay, there's one more thing I need to do. If you have this problem, I'll need to do this thing called chmod, if I am not wrong. Yes, chmod, the sudo chown here. So every time you have this thing called permission denied, you have to change the owner. Okay, so let's change the owner. Sudo chown r. Okay, I'm just going to copy and paste everything here. And then I'll put dot. Basically, that changes the ownership of the entire directory here to me, so that I won't have this permission denied problem. So let's go here and let's go to tutorials. Alright, so over here again, let's go to incompressible, IcoFoam, cavity. Or even you want to go something else a little bit more complicated, let's go to elbow. It's a much nicer file here to run. Let's type all run. Okay, so now this is a very fast, very small file. So if you want to do Paraview, so touch elbow.foam. I'm not exactly following the tutorials here. But when I do this file, I do this all run file, there's basically a script called all run. All run file, there's this script called all run, and you will run all these applications here. Okay, so that's what you are doing with all run. After that, you do this touch elbow.foam. Okay, when you do this touch elbow.foam, this enables you to read it using Paraview. And your Paraview should have been okay by now. So let's launch it. And if you type it in here, you should be able to see this thing called Paraview client. So I can just add it to my desktop. And basically, let's go to where the tutorials are. OpenFoam v1912. Go to the tutorials, and again look for your incompressible folder. Where's the incompressible? Yeah, it's here. Go to IcoFoam. IcoFoam is a simulator for laminar flow. Go to elbow.foam and you press apply. Okay, don't worry about this. Most of the things here, they are actually given for you. So you can press the pressure or velocity file, reset it, and that is how you know that OpenFoam is working. So that's how you do this Paraview and OpenFoam install. Very simple. No frills, no fuss, and hopefully I explained all of these steps for you so that you roughly know what it's doing and why you need to do such things. Okay, so this checking everything is okay. You do not need to follow this exactly. You can try some other methods as well using this all run file, and you touch foam, touch blah blah blah.foam, then you check it using Paraview. So just repeat the steps in the video, you should be fine. So this is the easy, lazy way of installing OpenFoam without the use of Docker. And as you can see, it works pretty well. For beginners, it doesn't really matter. You can just start with this and you'll be fine. Alright, so thanks for watching. I'll see you guys again. Bye-bye.